You are listening to the Knightline Sports Network, brought to you by Travis Dever and the Dever team, 386-690-1636.
This is WDBO 107.3 FM and AM 580, Orlando's news and talk.
Welcome to Knightline at Night on WDBO 107.3 FM and AM 580. Night Nation's only call-in show goes live now.
All right, hello Night Nation, hello Orlando. This is Andrew Phegley, and this is Knightline at Night, live from the Dever Team Studios, brought to you by Chad Barr Law, assisting injured veterans get the help they deserve. Give Chad a call, 407-599-9036, or visit protectingvets.com. You can also call Travis Dever for all your new Smyrna Beach real estate needs, 386-690-1636. And if you need a new or used car, truck, or Jeep, you can call me, Andrew Phegley, 386-736-3000. Or you can come and see me at DeLand Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram in DeLand, Florida. This show is not live for the next couple of weeks. We're having to do some taping, so you can't call, unfortunately. So keep that in mind. But
nobody'd be there.
Exactly, yeah. So once again, I'm Andrew Phegley at AP_Knightline on Twitter. Got Big Ben Stout with me at Big Social 32 on Twitter. Roger Phipps at Night Bengal on Twitter from the Santa Rosa Beach Studios, and you can find all the rest of our content on nightlinesports.com. Okay, so a little bit different this week because of the pre-recording kind of thing, and I didn't want to really make a big deal about it. I was trying to make it where I didn't say anything about it at all, but the slim chance that somebody would actually call in, and then you're listening to it on Sunday, and we're actually recording on Thursday, so not everything is going to be up to date. So we're going to do this for a couple of weeks, and we'll get through it, though. So more like listening to a podcast, but it's live on the radio at the normal time. Yeah, we've all got experience doing that. So Ben, one of the things that I wanted to talk to you about real quick was your old coach, Kirk Sparrow. Am I saying it right? Sparrow?
Yeah, Kirk Spiraw.
Spiraw. Yeah. It's just weird the way that it's spelled. So Spiraw retired this week, and he was your basketball coach at UCF when you played at UCF.
Yeah, he certainly was. Kirk Spiraw, as you mentioned, he announced his retirement from coaching this week. So he has been the head assistant coach at Iowa, his alma mater, since 2010. So he made that, the Iowa Hawkeyes made that announcement along with Kirk Spira and his family that he is retiring from coaching after a long and great career. I was lucky enough to play for Coach Spira from 2002 to 2004. I was on the first of the back-to-back conference championship teams that went to the NCAA tournament and, put on a heck of a showing against some great teams in the first round of those back-to-back years. So he had some great success here at UCF as the head coach from 1993 to 2010. He is still and will be for a long time the all-time Division I wins leader in the UCF the UCF men's basketball program. He had 247 wins as a head coach, and as I mentioned, some great seasons where he won 4 total conference championships in his head coaching career, and probably the most notable, those back-to-back ones in 2004 and 2005. Really just a great coach. I'm grateful for him for giving me the opportunity to play for UCF. And I've always said when someone asked me about Coach Spira from a coaching perspective, he was the best X's and O's coach that I had ever known in my basketball life. He was more prepared and he had us more prepared than any team that we ever faced against. We might not have been more talented than the team that was across from us on any given night, but we were absolutely the more prepared team, and that's how we put together wins on the teams that I was on, and any other player that it plays for him or has played for him in the past will certainly, I imagine, attest to that. So congratulations on a great career, Coach. And I'm lucky to be one of the many players who got to play for you, and congratulations on a great career. And I hope he enjoys his retirement with his family and enjoys his retirement from coaching.
And he's still a young guy too. I mean, he's only 65. So that's like, if you think about this coaching career, so he played for Iowa from 77 to 79, and then 79 to 80, he was an Iowa assistant. Then he went to Denver, 80 to 82. Then he went to Florida Southern, 82 to 87. 87 to 90, he was at Pensacola Junior College. Then 90 to 93 at Florida as an assistant. And then 93 to 2010 at UCF, and 2010 till this year or last season at Iowa. I mean, that's quite a record. And as a head coach, he was 247 to 233 wins versus losses. What a career. And still being a young guy, you would think that if you were to just look at his record, his coaching career, you would think, he's like 90 years old or something. Just so, you know what I'm saying? Wow. I mean, just a really long career for a young guy, because right out of college, he was a assistant coach.
And I haven't talked to him, and I hadn't talked to him firsthand about this, but, obviously being connected with a lot of, different people throughout the program in the year that knows Coach Spira and talks to him on a regular basis. I mean, there has been, since he left in 2010, there's been opportunities for him to be a head coach again. I think that he felt that Iowa, his alma mater, was the best place for him to be since 2010, and he, and he wound up staying there until his retirement just now. So. I'm glad that he, later in his career, he did exactly what he wanted to do. Didn't let anybody else kind of dictate, where he was going to go as far as the pursuing of anything different in his career. So I'm glad he got to kind of finish out the way he wanted to. And like I was going to say, he enjoyed immediate success here. I mean, his first season in 93-94 was our first Division I conference title. He went 21-9 that season. And so, he kind of jumped onto the scene at UCF and was able to carry that through to a great career as a head coach here at UCF. Yeah,
and if you're at UCF arena there, Addition Financial Arena, for a basketball game, and you look up in the rafters with the banners that are up there, his name's up there in a couple different places, I believe. And a storied coach at UCF. Kind of wish we had a different basketball coach at UCF personally, but we've been through that many times recently. So what an awesome career, and congratulations, Coach, for making it an incredible career, and have fun in your retirement. Roger, you got anything on this?
Yeah, I mean, as a fan and someone who was going to school around 99, the one thing I remember is, when you're comparing coaching styles, he was always very energetic. And he also, worked with the students and went around and interacted with students, and he would buy pizza for people and do things to involve the students and get them excited about the basketball program, the storied Kirk's Jerks. Which it was our first student-led fan group that was always very vocal at games, very into it, kind of like what you see at programs like Duke. That was our own group. So we that kind of died off after he left, and we had a couple of groups that tried to kind of restart that, but I don't think anybody had the connection with the students and with the university like he did, and to get them energized and excited about basketball. So it's not just about, as Ben said, obviously the X's and O's are important, but the energy and really getting people started on moving down that train and getting on board the basketball train as we moved out of smaller conferences into CUSA and some of the other larger conferences.
Yeah. So, Ben, you said he was kind of an energetic coach. Did he get the crowd going and everything as well? I mean, was he a guy that yelled and threw his arms up and, was a energetic coach like that or what?
Donnie
Jones was the coach when I think Donnie Jones was the coach when I first came around to UCF. So I've only known Donnie Jones and Johnny Dawkins. So
yeah, I mean he certainly had a good amount of energy on the sideline and in the huddle. I mean he was somebody who you made sure that. It's funny because O'Leary kind of on the football side, just to equate it, O'Leary kind of gave this impression to everyone because he was kind of an old school coach, and you knew that he got on the players when they weren't giving full effort and all that. And certainly I would put Coach Spira a little bit in that category in the sense that he was an old school guy. I mean, he was somebody who, prided himself and his teams on discipline and making sure that we knew exactly what the other team was going to do, and we were going to give 100% effort to stop it or to use our team and our talents to our advantage in the best way possible. And so I didn't have the best basketball coach, throughout my career, especially in high school. I didn't experience certain, things of just really seeing good coaching firsthand. And but there are multiple times where, whether it be in the locker room before a game or at halftime, where Coach Spira would say some things that I just kind of consciously, I remember in the moment that I was like, whoa, that's what a good coach is supposed to say, that's exactly what we should do, And so I'll give him a lot of respect for that, for sure.
Any memories of one of those moments that you could tell us about, something that that imprinted your mind that you'll never forget that he said or did?
I wish I could remember the specific moment that I was just talking about there, as far as something that he said. I could go off on many stories of where we had a tough loss and we really didn't look forward to going to practice the next day, and we ran a lot in the middle of the season. I remember my freshman year we had a couple of back-to-back tough losses and came back home, and we knew we were going to get in practice the next day, and we certainly did. There was a lot more moments like that just kind of stick in your brain sometimes. But I was, if you were around in the early 2000s and you went to the UCF basketball games when I played, I mean, that I was absolutely a player that kind of came off the bench when we were up by a decent amount, and the crowd was kind of cheering on to get me into the game. And Coach Spira, Roger talked a lot about the interaction with the fans. I mean, Coach Spira really kind of hammed that up a lot, kind of looked over at the fans to make sure they were ready, and, got me in the game. And so he was definitely one to interact with the fans. And maybe I can say it after the break. I do actually just remembered a story when we were playing against Pittsburgh in the first round of the NCAA tournament up in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And so I think that's a story that I can share with after the break about Coach Spira that is, I think a lot of fans of his would be really, kind of laugh about and excited to hear.
Yeah, we're coming up on a break here fairly quickly, but yeah, coaches that interact with the fans, I think are few and far between anymore. It seems like. So stuff like that is cool. I mean, you remember the times that Scott Frost in the football stadium, would interact with the crowd, and then Heupel, that was one of Heupel's best moments as a coach.
It's like an iconic moment with Heupel, right?
Yeah, when he was, during that game, and he was like trying to hype the crowd up, and he hardly ever did that. But I love it when coaches yell at referees, and it just gets everything going. So that's exciting stuff. All right, going to a break. We'll be right back on Knightline at Night.
An auto accident can change your life forever. At Chad Barr Law, we are raising the bar on what to expect from your personal injury attorney. Hi, I'm Chad Barr, and I want you to know that our entire team is dedicated to providing you with the representation you deserve in your greatest time of need. If you or a loved one have been injured in an auto accident, call 407-599-9036 for a free consultation or visit chadbarlaw.com. At Chad Barr Law, our clients come to us in need and leave as family. Offices, Altamont Springs.
Hey, this is Travis Dever, Kai's Real Estate, the Dever team, New Smyrna Beach. Your source for real estate and everything else, New Smyrna Beach. Proud sponsor of Knightline. Call me anytime at 386-690-1636. That's 386-690-1636. Let me show you my hometown, New Smyrna Beach, UCF's favorite beach. Go Knights and charge on.
Looking for more out of your Porsche? Look no further than Flat6Motorsports.com. They have the widest selection of aftermarket Porsche parts anywhere in the world. With over 85 product lines and in-depth expertise, Flat6Motorsports.com is your one-stop shop for any Porsche performance needs. Whether you're shopping for intakes, exhausts, suspension, or tuning, they have you covered. Flat6Motorsports.com is the premier Porsche aftermarket specialist. Check them out at Flat6Motorsports.com.
And now, back to Knightline at Night on WDBO 107.3 FM and AM 580. Call now at 844-580-9326.
All right, back with you here on Knightline at Night. I'm Andrew Phegley, live from the Dever Team Studios, brought to you by Chad Barr Law. Got Big Ben Stout here and Roger Phipps with us all as well. We were talking before we went to the break about Coach Spira. I still can't say it right. Spira. I don't know why I can't say it right, but it is what it is. Anyway, Ben,
he's
you wanted to tell us.
He's actually a UCF women's tennis player that you're having a hard time with his name.
What? I don't even know what you're talking about. But anyway, Ben, tell us the story that you were going to tell us before the break. Will this one?
Real quick.
Yeah,
real quick. This would just be a good example of how he interacted with the fans, even during the biggest game of his career up until that point, probably. We were playing at Pittsburgh, who had a great team that year. We were, I believe, a 13 seed. They were we were a 14 seed. They were a 3 seed, and we certainly deserved to be a higher seed than that that year in 2004, where we were 26-5. I believe we were 26-5 going into that tournament game. But anyways, we actually, as a lot of Cinderellas and underdogs do in the NCAA tournament, we actually took the lead on the higher seeded team, the heavily favored team, with about 2 minutes left in the game. We had a player in Rob Ross come off the bench and sink a few threes, and there was a ton of momentum for us at that time. I took the lead with about 2 minutes left in the game, and we were in Milwaukee, and Wisconsin was the number 1 seed. So the number 1 seed was, they kind of wanted us to win that game because they didn't want to play Pittsburgh. They'd rather play us. And so the fans, the Wisconsin fans that were packing the building, kind of like started going nuts when we went on our run and took a lead. And Coach Spira just got so excited. He was so pumped up that he right after a timeout or right before a timeout, as we took the lead there, I just remember him running over and pointing to a big section of Wisconsin fans and being like, "We need you, let's go!" And he's pumping up he's like, whatever. If they're gonna cheer on us because we're the underdog and they don't want to play our opponent down the line, I'm gonna get them into this game and get them hyped up myself. I'm gonna use that to our advantage. And that was just classic Coach Spira there. Just him getting super hyped up in the moment and just kind of running over. I'll never forget him running over there, just saying, "We need you, let's go, let's go." And it was just so funny. So anybody who was at that game or anybody who was on that team probably remembers that moment. It was like, all right, then, Coach, let's go.
And I'm sure that the Wisconsin fans, were getting ready for their game and they were getting hyped up anyway. So, and there was probably
the building exploded.
Yeah.
The building went nuts.
That was probably awesome. The loudest pop you guys got all year, probably. I don't know.
No doubt.
So that's cool. Stories like that are cool. That's exactly what I was looking for when I asked you that. By the way, this segment is brought to you by Manscaped. If you haven't tried Manscaped products yet, you have a chance to and get free shipping with the code GONIGHTS. If you go to manscaped.com, you can use GONIGHTS and get free shipping. Manscaped has all kinds of awesome stuff to take care of your man parts, I should say. And the very creative advertisement and really good products. I've said this the entire time. We've had the Manscaped stuff. They gave us a bunch of stuff. I love their deodorant, and I never really, loved a deodorant before, but this one is awesome. No residue or anything like that. So, and you guys have all had the Manscaped stuff as well. So thank you to Manscaped, and go to manscaped.com and get your free shipping with Go Knights. Back right after this. If you haven't figured it out yet, I love Tijuana Flats. I would love them even if they weren't a partner with us on the Knightline Sports Network. They have all kinds of great Tex-Mex food, and it's fresh, by the way. Made to order burritos, tacos, enchiladas, chimichangas, quesadillas, bowls, nachos, and taco salads. And if you haven't tried the queso, you are completely missing out. It is the best queso that I've ever had in my life. Absolutely hands down. And the sauce bar that they have, everything from wild to mild in there. Absolutely awesome stuff. Not only do I love the food at Tijuana Flats, but I love the company, a UCF-born company. And they give back to the community with the Justin Queso Foundation. So head to your local Tijuana Flats. Tex-Mex for everyone. Hey Jeep Wrangler owners, have you ever sat in your office at work and watched the rain just pour into your Jeep because the weatherman said that there was a 0 chance of rain? Or you put your doors back on because there was a 100% chance and then not a drop of rain fell? Well, there's a company out there that can help take the worry away and give you the peace of mind to be without your doors. The company's called Life Without Doors. They make waterproof rain curtains and dash covers for Wranglers. Life Without Doors is there to help make the decision to leave the doors at home an easy one. Find out more at lifewithoutdoors.com.
Spice up your company with homemade marketing services from Tasty Gravy Creative. Tasty Gravy serves up a menu of budget-friendly marketing, graphic design, and public relations services customized to your specific goals. Co-owned by a UCF graduate, Tasty Gravy can help refresh your brand, strengthen your online presence, or reinforce your company's message. Contact Tasty Gravy for help with your website, social media, marketing, advertising materials, and more. Visit tastygravy.com.
And now, back to Knightline at Night on WDBO 107.3 FM and AM 580. Call now at 844-580-9326.
All right, Andrew Phegley back with you here on Knightline at Night, live from the Dever Team Studios, brought to you by Chad Bar Law, assisting injured veterans get the help they deserve. Give Chad a call, 407-599-9036, or visit protectingvets.com. You can also call Travis Dever for all your new Smyrna Beach real estate needs, 386-690-1636. And if you need a new or used car, truck, or Jeep, you can call me, Andrew Phegley, at 386-736-3000, 386-736-3000, or you can come and visit me at DeLand Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram, and if you tell me Go Knights Charge On, I will get you a special discount. So I got Big Ben Stout here with me at Big Social 32 on Twitter. I'm Andrew Phegley. I usually do this completely backwards. So I'm Andrew Phegley at AP_Knightline on Twitter, and we've got Roger Phipps at Night Bengal on Twitter, and he's from the Santa Rosa Beach studios. And you can find all the rest of our content on nightlinesports.com. All right, so since we are pre-recording, and I wasn't going to say anything, blah, 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 but we are, I find it a little bit difficult to talk about softball, baseball, the live sports that are going on right now, because we usually report after the week is over of the games. But I guess we can, I don't know. You're going to hear this on Sunday. We're recording it on Thursday. But I guess we could talk about maybe our expectations or what's going to happen later in the week, and we'll see how right we are, I guess. Maybe we could, I don't know. I don't even know how to do it, but...
Well, I can tell you last week I had said that I hoped we would play or Houston in our first round, which we will play
in softball.
Houston and softball on May 13th at 9 a.m., which is a little early. Wichita State, by the way, we just got off a series with them, beat Memphis 22-0. I mean, that's absolutely crazy for a softball score. That's like a football score. Spanking them. But in addition to that, softball also this week, the AAC awards were announced. And as expected with the number one seed, the ladies cleaned up. Justine Molina was Defensive Player of the Year. Rookie of the Year was Michaela Macario. Coaching Staff of the Year was UCF's coaching staff. So congrats to Coach Bear. All conference first team, Gianna Mancha. Catcher Jada Cody. Second base person, Justine Molina. Third base, Kennedy Searcy. Outfield, Denali Shoppacher, and that one was a difficult one. And this is actually her senior year. Second team, Kama Woodall, that one potent 1-2 pitching punch that we have. Michaela Macario, again, that freshman. And then designated pitcher, Ashley Griffin. All rookie team, we had a catcher, Ashley Griffin, and Michaela Macario. So they really cleaned up and well-deserved for this entire team and the coaching staff, because they've put together a heck of a season so far. As for my expectations, I expect we beat Houston. This is a single elimination tournament, which means that if we move on from there and win one game, we'll be in the championship game. So I'm excited. And I have high expectations for the team. I do hope we don't meet Wichita State again in a single elimination game.
Yeah, so this is just single games. It's not series or anything, just single games?
Correct.
Okay, cool. All right, Ben, anything to say about that?
Yeah, I mean, well deserved. I mean, they should be cleaning up on all the conference awards. I mean, just put together a spectacular season, and I'm excited to hear that they have got the awards that they deserve, and certainly looking to grab more hardware this weekend in the conference tournament.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, there was an article. I'm switching to football now. There was an article on ESPN.com by Andrea Adelson, who's awesome, absolutely awesome. She's kind of, I think, around this area all the time, so she reports on UCF and just talking about going to the Big 12 next season, and supposedly, I mean, I think that's what's going to happen. It's supposed to be next season. And all that. Did you guys get to see that article by chance?
I did read it. As you mentioned, she is an Orlando-based reporter, so she does pick up stories on us more frequently. She talked about everything, even down to the donor base and Terry Mohajir's, wanting to grow that donor base and being able to, recruit and what the Big 12 conference means to us from a recruiting perspective and being able to compete for those higher level recruits. So it was a great article.
Awesome. Yeah. Talked a little bit about with Gus about his wife being sick over the winter, I guess it was the winter here. All kinds of stuff. So if you have a chance to read that on ESPN.com, Andrea Adelson does an awesome job. I mean, I love she's really pretty much pro UCF most of the time. I know that writers are supposed to not do that kind of thing, but she does a really good job with UCF stuff. She's been tough at times when she needed to be, but for the most part, she's pretty pro UCF. So it's good to have a writer like her.
Yeah, I always thought Andrea Adelson did such a good job of covering, kind of the rise of UCF, as far as the most recent rise in 2017. I thought she did a great job covering that. But then also, what comes to mind is her relationship with Mackenzie Milton and really telling his story well. I thought that she's done a spectacular job of that over the years, from not only him playing, but certainly his injury and his recovery from the injury. I thought she's always done a very good job with covering Mackenzie and other things UCF, as you mentioned.
Absolutely. All right. So some other UCF news this week. Not the greatest news when players get in trouble with the law. So one of our star transfers, Maryland transfer Terrence Lewis, linebacker, arrested on a domestic battery charge. Not sure what has happened with that so far, but it's one of those things that sometimes we have to deal with at UCF, and UCF normally handles these things very well. I'm not saying that he is guilty or not. I'm just saying that he was arrested. So not real great because of our linebacker situation. Although he was getting healthy again, this guy was the number one linebacker in all of college football recruiting last year, was out all year with an injury at Maryland, and made his way to UCF and was working his way back onto the field, and then a setback like this, which is really a bummer. Doesn't help our linebacker core, which is a little bit thin right now as well. Guys, you got anything on this?
Yeah, there's really no detail that's come out about the incident itself. UCF is pretty conservative with this stuff, especially the student component of this, the student council or whatever. Or student conduct committee is what it's called. So, don't really want to pass any judgment on it until we hear some more particulars, but it also affects recruiting in the sense that we're in the mix for another top linebacker, 4-star teammate of his at Maryland, Braden Jennings, who started there. He left Maryland and went to Kansas State, I believe. And he was at Kansas State, was playing second string as he was learning the defense, and we're in the mix for him as a transfer. So I'm hoping that doesn't affect our chances with Braden Jennings, because all indications were he's considering UCF, and they were really, really good friends. So, all around, like you said, tough spot for us from that particular position. He probably wouldn't have made an impact the first few games because he's still recovering from ACL surgery. But so there's time to play out depending on what happens. It may not really affect us because he probably wouldn't have played until a little later on in the season anyway. But definitely tough news. And for the linebacking core, it's a big hit.
Yeah, absolutely. Coach Lee at UCF says underneath the 24/7 Sports was the one to break this, and he says, let's gather all the facts before hanging the young man out to dry. I wish all the social media platforms would focus on positive things that all student athletes are doing as well. Yeah, so, anytime that something like this happens, there's all kinds of speculation and all that stuff. We're not going to do that, but we hope that he gets his stuff together and makes this whatever has to be done to make it right and all that stuff. He said on Twitter recently that he accepts anything that comes along with this, and we wish him well. Obviously, he said, I accept everything come with this. And I can't say the last word because it's an expletive. But anyway, sounds like that he is going to take care of things and make things right. So that's good for him. I hate to see any athlete get themselves in trouble or anything like that. So, Ben, anything you'd like to say on that or anything otherwise?
I think we covered that one just fine. It's obviously a very unfortunate situation for all involved, and we'll see what happens from here as the kind of legal proceedings play out. And certainly, I think that regardless of that, but incorporated with that Gus Malzahn is and Terry Mohajir are going to have some decisions to make, and hopefully they'll do what's right for all that is involved. I mean, because this is obviously a very tough situation. If the allegations are, come out to be correct, then it's certainly one that the legal system will play itself out there.
Yeah, and much bigger than football.
Absolutely.
Things like this.
Yep.
It doesn't matter. I don't think it matters if you're a football player or whatever, a basketball player. When things like this happen, it's much larger than sports. So I think that the fans should maybe think of him personally and wish for him to get his stuff straight and kind of it always hurts a little bit for fans, when an athlete that you're looking forward to playing or has played for you for a long time. And we've gone through this stuff at UCF multiple times, not the first time. So it is what it is, and hopefully we'll get that together. Football is coming. It's coming quick. We're even starting to make travel plans for certain things. I don't know about you guys, but I'm involved with a little bit of a travel plan, coming up for football. I just can't wait. And it's coming soon. So
I don't know if we have time, but you asked me if there was anything else that I wanted to talk about. And there was something that Terry Mohajir in an interview this week kind of spilled the beans on. And it's not necessarily about football, but it is about the other kind of football. It appears that once we go to the Big 12, we talked about certain sports that the Big 12 does not have, one of those being men's soccer.
Oh, yeah.
And he indicated and Terry Mohajir indicated in an interview this week that the men's soccer team will be going to the Sun Belt Conference. And now in a lot of other sports, that may not be a huge deal, but in men's soccer, it's a pretty big deal with a number of teams that are kind of in our similar situation that are kind of left without a conference for soccer that have gone to the Sun Belt and actually, established themselves really well, like Kentucky and West Virginia, Marshall, Georgia State. These are good soccer programs. James Madison is traditionally a very good soccer program. So there's some good programs in this conference that UCF, it appears, will be a part of once we go to the Big 12.
All righty. Got to take a break here real quick. We'll be right back on Knightline at Night.
I'm Jeff Allen. Join me each and every week on the Knightline Sports Network for the AAC Report. We bring you in-depth coverage of each school in football, basketball, baseball, softball, soccer, golf, tennis, and more, as well as bring you insider interviews and focus in on the biggest games and news of the week. That's all right here each week on the AAC Report, only on the Knightline Sports Network.
And now, back to Nightline at Night on WDBO 107.3 FM and AM 580. Call now at 844-580-9326.
Alrighty, back on Nightline at Night with you. I'm Andrew Phegley, live from the Dever Team Studios, brought to you by Chad Barlaw. We have come to the time in our show every week that it is time for the Tijuana Flats Hot Take of the Week. Welcome to the Tijuana Flats Hot Take of the Week. Visit TijuanaFlats.com for takeout or delivery, or visit your local Tijuana Flats. Tex-Mex for everyone. All right, always kind of a fun time in our show. We give you our weekly hot take. I love Tijuana Flats, by the way. If you haven't been there lately, give it another shot because they've always got something new. So get there and partake in great fresh Mex food. It's awesome. I love it. Roger, why don't you go ahead with your hot take of the week?
Okay, so for my Tijuana Flats hot take of the week this week, I'm going to go a little bit with the mild sauce because I believe in this softball team, and I'm going to say, and you'll know if I'm right or not by the time you hear this, that UCF women's softball team will win the AAC championship team and will be a number 5 seed in the tournament.
All righty, Ben.
So I'm gonna go on the baseball route as of us talking tonight, and there'll be 3 less games by the time the recording is coming. So I'm making a little bit of prediction that will be known. But there's 7 games left in the season. I am saying they're going to go 5-2 the rest of this season and have a lot of momentum going into the conference tournament and hopefully make some noise.
Alrighty. I don't know what my hot take is going to be this week. This is pretty normal. I try to come up with something right on, right as we're doing this, and I'm having a little trouble this week. But I'm going to go with something with the Big 12 because all of that is coming very quickly. I am going to say UCF football. This is a long one away with the Big 12, I guess. UCF football will, win their very first game in the Big 12 when they start, I guess. I'm just trying to think of something because I'm not very good at I'm doing all kinds of other stuff, and then when this segment comes along, sometimes I do it, sometimes I don't. So we don't have a producer this week, so I can't throw him in there. So I just had to come up with something. So
I'm gonna spice mine up. I'm gonna say the UCF softball team will be a number 1 seed and will host a tournament.
Wow, that is quite spicy.
I'm spicing it up.
Right on, yeah. So lots of stuff coming up in the coming week and the rest of this week because this is Thursday for us, Sunday for you. But a lot of stuff coming up at UCF, a lot of the spring sports starting to wind up. So football is on the way. We got a couple of minutes left here, guys. So any final thoughts?
I did want to kind of throw in something. Good luck to Matt Wright. He did get waived by the Jags. He's been a great kicker for them. Remember, he had that big kick against Miami last year to give the Jags their win. Nothing but best wishes to him and good luck to our softball team.
Absolutely. Kind of shocking that Jacksonville made another, I think, a huge blunder in their, roster management because Matt Wright is a great kicker. If you look at his stats, he was right up there with a lot of players making crazy kicks and everything else. So coming
he
up,
made some huge kicks that won the game for him last year.
Absolutely. All right, coming up on that time. Back same time next week. Go Knights.
Charge on.